What's going on, you guys? And welcome to Hollyscoop's Moments of the Week. I'm Devin Howard.
And I am Kourtney Revolution.
So there was a lot that happened this week. We have to get into some Scott and Kourtney tea. We're talking about Bella Hadid and the Weeknd, plus all of the celebrities who have been getting together and showing their support for the Black Lives Matter movement. There are a few other stories that we didn't get into on our channel this week that we're also going to be filling you in on at the end of this episode. But first, let's go ahead and talk about Scott and Kourtney, you guys. So, there's been a lot of news about them. On Tuesday, we told you how Scott and Kourtney recognized that nothing's going to happen romantically between the two of them. An insider spoke to Us Magazine and revealed even more about what their co-parenting relationship is really like. They said, quote, Scott is so happy that he and Kourtney get along so well and how easy it is to be with her. It's weird to everybody else, but not to them. They really are like best friends. But that doesn't mean that they don't playfully flirt. This insider said that Kourtney is not open to him in a romantic sense, but Scott is always flirting with her and thinks that she looks better than ever. The family also loves him and he's like another son to Chris. So it really sounds like they're not going to get back together, and other insiders have revealed that Scott is focused on trying to win Sophia back once he's feels mentally ready for another relationship. But Sophia, as we've discussed, is just soaring and going on her own path right now. I don't know that she's interested in getting back together with him. What are your thoughts, Kourtney?
Maybe Scott keep flirting with Kourtney or complimenting her just because both he and her know it's not going to go anywhere. Maybe he's just comfortable with her. When you've been with someone for so long, I don't have kids, but I've just been in a very long-term relationship, and you're just comfortable. You'll say and do anything after a certain point, you know what I mean? Because you just know that despite there not being any romance, there's still the level of care. I care about you. I care about what happens to you. So I think that's the kind of relationship that Kourtney and Scott have today.
Well, you know what? Bella Hadid and The Weeknd might be kind of in the same boat. They've reportedly been talking recently. An insider for Us revealed that the two have been in touch. They also clarified that Bella is not dating anybody at the moment because she is, quote, so busy traveling and working nonstop, and she's mostly focused on her career right now. I'm not sure how she's traveling considering we're in a pandemic, but who really knows? That's just what the insider said. We heard back in February that the model definitely still has feelings for her former flame. The insider went on to say, quote, there's always a possibility that they'll get back together down the line. And I think that if these two are back in touch, they're definitely close to rekindling their romance. I'm not typically one to support an on-again, off-again relationship just because I think it can end up breeding toxicity. But with Bella and The Weeknd, there's something about them that just, I don't know, I like them together. I feel like the only reason that they're ever kept apart is because they both have such busy jobs. So even though they are kind of up and down, I support them. What about you? Do you support them getting back together?
I do support them getting back together. And you know what? It's all about, in terms of the discussion of, well, their schedules are kind of busy. It's all about how you communicate when one person is on season and the other is off. You get what I'm saying? If one person has to be in Ibiza and you have to be in Calabasas, you just stay in touch, you communicate. I think the number one, if not cheating, the number one destroyer of relationships is just poor communication, Devin. It doesn't mean that it always is comfortable, but it has to happen or else your relationship is doomed to fail. Always, 100%.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. Communication is so important. Now let's get into some of the celebrities who showed up and marched for change, advocated for change on social media. We have Ariana Grande. She was one of the many celebrities who participated in the protest last weekend. She joined one of the marches in Los Angeles and she was carrying a Black Lives Matter sign. She also shared it on social media. She tweeted hours and miles of peaceful protesting yesterday that got little to no coverage. All throughout Beverly Hills and West Hollywood, we chanted, people beeped and cheered along. We were passionate, we were loud, we were loving. Cover this too. So I'm glad that she drew attention to all of that. Yeah, I loved that. Billie Eilish also responded to some controversial tweets that Trump posted about the protests in Minneapolis. She shared them in her story, writing, "Our own president said this. Are you dead effing serious? Eat a huge effing D word and choke on it. She also called out the people who claim all lives matter and said, quote, society gives you privilege just for being white. You can be poor, you can be struggling, and still your skin color is giving you more privilege than you realize. She also asked her audience, why is it okay for white people to protest literally being asked to stay at home while carrying semi-automatic weapons? Why is it okay for black people to be called thugs for protesting the murder of innocent people? White effing privilege. Hell yes, Billie Eilish. Hell yes.
Where are the answers to those questions? All lives matters, people. What are the answers to that question? Because I don't see nobody answering that little girl. Billie Eilish is very wise beyond her years, Devin, and that's the reason why she's the front runner right now. If that is who is representing Gen Z, y'all, that's the girl. That's the girl, because she said it, and she, oh my God, left not a follicle of hair in the wig cap. She literally said it all. Couldn't have put it better myself. Shout out to Billie Eilish.
Shout out to Billie Eilish. She seriously is such a smart and inspiring young woman. We also have to talk about Adele. She broke her whole Instagram hiatus to express her support for Black Lives Matter, and she shared her condolences for George Floyd. She wrote, quote, George Floyd's murder has sent shockwaves around the world, so be righteously angered, but be focused, keep listening, keep asking, and keep learning. It's important we don't get disheartened, hijacked, or manipulated right now. This is about systematic racism. This is about police violence, and it's about inequality. I wholeheartedly stand in solidarity with the fight for freedom, liberation, and justice. We also have two other singers that we're going to get into. Selena Gomez has done a lot for Black Lives Matter and just, spreading the awareness. She participated in Blackout Tuesday by shutting down her website. She shared a message on her website that says, I hope you're taking the time to do some introspective thinking about how we can all come together and listen to one another with an open heart and mind. The country is long overdue for meaningful change to our broken society. Black Lives Matter. And then she also is letting Black leaders take over her Instagram account. She has 178 million followers, so that's such a huge thing for her to do. Rihanna clapped back at a follower who said that voting doesn't do anything. She wrote back to them saying, I'm sick of hearing this. You know what ain't gonna change ish? Not doing ish, which I also loved. And just because I'm breezing through these because I know we're running low on time, The Weeknd made a huge donation to Black Lives Matter. He donated $200,000 to the Black Lives Matter Global Network, another $200,000 to the Colin Kaepernick Know Your Rights Camp Legal Defense Initiative, and $100,000 to the National Bailout. That is $500,000 that The Weeknd gave out to these organizations. So applause, hands up. That was great. We really
shout out to all the celebrities doing their part, because right now we need you. For years we have supported, your music, your movies, television shows, all of your media, what have you, bought the makeup kits and all of that, and now is the time that we need you. So I'm glad that there are celebrities stepping up and using their platform for good, Devin. There are a lot of voices that are unheard, and just specifically referencing Selena Gomez, I'm glad that she's using her platform to make those unheard Black voices heard.
Oh, for sure, definitely. And then also there was another person, a Real Housewives of Atlanta cast member, Porsha Williams, who got really candid about her experience at the protest. And she is also not afraid to use her platform for change. She said on the Hot Hollywood podcast, my child's future is on the line. I fear for her future. I fear for her life and living in her Black skin. I fear for my other future children. I fear for my family members and people who I don't even know. I did not know George Floyd personally, but I am African American just as he is. He is my brother. So she marched on May 29th in Atlanta, and she discussed how people were being tear gassed even though they were peacefully protesting. And she said that the whole thing was devastating because, quote, I was out there trying to stand with my people, stand with our allies, help them raise a message of hope, and to be silenced and not able to breathe because of the gas bomb that was thrown, that for her was extremely disheartening, which I can imagine. I want to talk briefly another celebrity couple that we didn't really touch on our channel at all. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively made headlines for donating $200,000 to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. They also said that in the past they've been ashamed that they allowed themselves to be uninformed about how deeply rooted systemic racism is. Now, great, love the $200,000, but fans were quick to remind them that they had their wedding on a plantation, and they likely don't care about the actual wedding. Someone else drew attention to the fact that $200,000 is pocket change for a couple who had enough money to buy a $2 million engagement ring. That was just one of the tweets that I saw. Kourtney, I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Devin, I believe I said it on one of the episodes of the Morning Tea this week. When it comes to problematic celebrities, I would prefer problematic celebrities that have racial issues in the past. I would prefer to just see a screenshot of how much you have donated and don't say nothing. Because it really doesn't matter what they say, people are still upset, and rightfully so. So I wish that they would have just donated, posted a screenshot, hashtag Black Lives Matter, and kept it moving. But here we are. Now we got to talk about your plantation wedding now.
You know, I've always thought those plantation weddings were very bizarre when I've seen them on Pinterest and stuff. Like, I've never thought, like, I'd like to do that someday. No, thank you. It doesn't even seem appealing to me at all. Okay, the final story that I want to talk about, Jay-Z, he lent his private plane to Ahmaud Arbery's attorney. So their court hearing was scheduled for Thursday, and there were no flights available. And his attorneys and Ahmaud's family started losing hope that they'd be able to attend the hearing. Luckily, Jay-Z offered to help. He jumped in, saved the day, and lent them his private plane. So that was amazing. I love that. Making it. All right, you guys. Well, that is all the news from the week that you need to know. What was your reaction to the Kourtney and Scott tea this week? Also, what are your thoughts on the Weeknd and Bella possibly rekindling their romance? And most importantly, what are your reactions to the celebrities who are out there protesting and posting and sharing information all about racial justice and racial inequality? And what did you think of those other headlines that we discussed? Do Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively deserve the accolades that you're getting? Are you surprised that Jay-Z lent those attorneys his private plane? Fill us in on all your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Tune into the Morning Tea at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Give this video a like, and of course subscribe. Leave a comment below. Share it with your friends, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.